Thank you, everyone, for your patience and waiting with us, and welcome to another exciting session of the Education Summit 2022. If you have been a part of the previous sessions, you will know that today we're celebrating Student Support Day. So we're pretty much running through sessions where we'll be discussing a number of student support services. So in today's session in specific, we will be discussing strategies that can be used to crack the infamous NAATI CCL along with the free demo class. So today we're joined by the wonderful Miss Rinni Mehta, who's currently a NAATI tutor at Aussizz Group and will be bringing her extensive English teaching experience to us today. Through this session, Ms. Rinni will be using her passion for NAATI teaching to guide us through a wonderful session. So welcome, Ms. Rinni Mehta. Before I go ahead and hand over the floor to you, there is a couple of announcements just to be made. Just so the audience that is here, I will remind you that our experts are willing to take your questions. So please go ahead and post them in the chat box, and we'll answer these queries at the end of the session. And if we can just bring up perfect powers, thank you for that. So also under some exciting news, we have bumper cash prizes to be claimed by those who leave the most descriptive reviews of the sessions they have attended on a Facebook post that I will be pasting on the chat box right now. Just a second. Yep. All right. So go ahead, click on the link. It's a Facebook post. Make sure you tag your friends as well as use our hashtags, which are hashtag Aussizz Education Summit 2022 and hashtag Aussizz Group in the comment section along with their feedback. Furthermore, our most participative audience members are also eligible for a number of free giveaways we're running, which include free PTE and IELTS coaching, PR consultations, etc. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us again. And yes, Ms. Rinni Mehta, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, Sherry, for such a kind introduction. And thank you everyone for joining for the session. We'll be beginning the session for NAATI in a while. And you all will get an insight of how to give exam for NAATI and how to attempt really a very good score in NAATI exam. So let's begin. I will share my screen where you will be able to understand what should be followed for NAATI exam and what we can do here to get this score. So very easy and very important insight. It is very simple to get about information about NAATI, and let's check it here. Hopefully on my screen you all can see. Shari, is my screen visible now?
It just hasn't come up yet. Someone just takes a while. Yes, perfect. We can all see it now.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
Really sorry for interrupting. Before starting the session, would you mind turning on your video cam, please?
Is my video camera not on?
Yes, I can see it. I think it's just a slight delay. I think.
Okay.
All good. All good.
Just
Yeah.
work up again. Yeah.
And yes, I will start the share again just in a while.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, hopefully you can see my screen. Yes. Is my screen visible?
Perfect. Looks great, Vinny.
Perfect. Okay, let's start now. Thank you so much, everyone. And here we are talking about Education Summit 2022, and we'll be taking an insight in CCL NAATI. It is a gateway to abroad, and you can all gain 5 points towards your application for NAATI. So what is NAATI first of all? NAATI is very simple. It is a national accreditation authority for translators and interpreters. NAATI is the assessing authority of CCL test. So there are many tests organized by NAATI, but mainly what you are targeting for immigration purpose will give you 5 points in NAATI in through CCL test. So this assessment is completed in 35 minutes, and if the test runs for longer than this duration, NAATI will cease the test and the performance till that point will only be judged. In order to be credentialed in a community language and get the bonus of 5 points in your immigration and PR purpose, you should submit proof of community language credential for interpreting or translating by the National Accreditation Authority for Translators and Interpreters. So NAATI is very simple. easy. You have to just translate your one language into another and gain 5 points and add it to your PR purpose. And once you are 5 points ahead in your scores, you can get really ahead of everything and get the PR a little bit earlier than previously attempted. So extra benefit of 5 points is what we are looking for here. What is CCL? So NAATI organizes a CCL test, and this test will assess your capabilities for the purpose of getting 5 points for obtaining the permanent residency visa. Applicants are granted points based on certain criteria at the time of invitation, and you can get point for your age, English language skill, where you can give any English test like PT, IELTS, anything, and education, whatever you have done, whether you are bachelor, graduate, or postgraduate, you can score extra points from that. Employment experience, you can get points, and so on. But the extra 5 point will be given to you by CCL. So if you are applying for immigration PR, and whether it is 189, 190, 491, anywhere, you can increase your 5 point and get ahead in slot and get the invite a little bit earlier. So this 5 points can be covered by clearing this exam. This exam is done from the comfort of your home. You don't have to go to any offline campus or any other center. You just need some devices. And in this exam, they cover mainly 12 topics. The topics which will be included will be based on Australian society. So you can talk about Australian business, consumer affairs, employment, health related topics, immigration related topic, or legal topic. They might ask you some questions related to community, education, financial, housing, insurance, and social services. But the better point of relief is that they will just tell you to translate. So you do not need to gain any general knowledge on these topics. You just need to know about the vocabulary related to these topics. So if you want to clear this exam, you have to mainly follow these topics, nothing else than this. No extra question will be asked, just knowledge and insight about these topics which are covered in the exam. Let's take it to the next thing, which is time. In NAATI CCL, the tests are delivered online and every day, Monday to Friday. So when you are booking for the test, these are online. You can sit anywhere from any place in the world. You can give it from any country, and you can sit for this test. All tests run on Canberra, Australian time. So when you will be given a link, that link will mention Australian time. You will have to convert it to your time zone. The assessment is completed in 35 minutes, but the exam window is given between 3 to 6 hours. So let's say if you are given a time interval of 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., you can give this exam anytime between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. if that window is given to you. And you can start at 11, you can start at 12, anytime, whenever you prefer. It will be just of 35 minutes. So they give you a time window where you can adjust for your timing, which is really much more comfortable. So you can give it from the comfort of your home anytime, whenever you prefer. They give you a window for that. Now, please note that it may take up to 10 to 15 minutes to complete the initial setup, but this is not included in your 35 minutes exam time. So you have to do initial setup before the exam starts. So make a buffer of 1 hour. Let's say if they are ending 4 p.m. So you start before 3 p.m. So that 10 to 15 minutes for initial setup of your device, and then your exam will start. Once this is completed, you will be prompted to click on your test link. So initial setup is required to be done at the time of exam before you start your exam. We'll talk more about it once we go through the initial requirement of the task. For this exam, you need an online test platform. The basic thing is that Proctor exam app is used by NAATI for the purpose of taking online exam. Proctor exam will perform the necessary pre-test administration, including ID and room check. So this exam can be given from the comfort of your home. To take your exam, you need a computer, as the Chrome's plugin is required to share your screen, is only compatible with a laptop or a desktop. Phones and tablets can also be used as the secondary camera to show your room and environment. The installation of software on your computer is not at all necessary. However, you are strongly advised to use Google Chrome, as you can run the latest version of our screen sharing extension. You might be required to use the camera of your smartphone. Note that Huawei P30, Samsung Galaxy A3 2016 model, and Google Pixel 3 are not compatible with Proctor exam app. Basically, you need Proctor. And to run Proctor on your computer or laptop, you can either use computer or laptop. No other tablet or mobile will help you to give this exam. First, basic main instrument could be a PC or a laptop. If you are using a laptop, you need Proctor exam app. But thankfully, we don't have to download it. You have to open Google Chrome, and in Google Chrome, they will give you a link to add extension. So NAATI will send you an email just 7 days before your exam, and you will get a link to add Proctor app in your Google Chrome. Make sure you're using Google Chrome only. If you're using Safari or any other browser, your Proctor exam will not work over there. So basic requirement for this exam is a laptop and a Google Chrome, updated Google Chrome in it. Once you get the email from NAATI, you just have to click on the link and it will automatically help you to add extension of Proctor exam. Once that is done, your device will be checked for many other technical things like microphone, camera, everything. But they want you to connect one more device with this laptop. So what they do, they give you another QR code in your laptop. When you do this setup, they give you a QR code. That QR code should be shown to the computer, to the mobile. So you can either use secondary device as a mobile or a tablet. You have to keep this secondary device in the back of your slightly tilted at a side angle. So you have to keep one more device in the back side to give them the view of your room. So they will check your room. They will make sure that you are covered from 360-degree angle. No one is inside the room to help you, and you are giving an exam which is completely cheating free, and you are just giving it from just similar to the examination hall. So secondary camera is also required, which can be a phone or a tablet. When you are using a phone, make sure you don't use Huawei P30, Samsung Galaxy A3 or Google Pixel 3. They will not use Proctor app and they will not be compatible. So any other device other than this will be okay. Make sure you do not keep any third device in your room. Only these two devices, one primary laptop and secondary tablet is required. Let's talk about what are the rules. You should adhere to the following rules taking the test. Candidates must have a suitable device for test delivery, a computer or a laptop that is a camera and a microphone. Tablets and phones are not supported, so you cannot run Proctor exam on your tablet. You cannot give exam on tablet. You need to have a computer or a laptop. Your phone will be used as a secondary camera to record your environment and must be located behind or beside you. The test must be completed in a location that is free of distraction, background noises, and other people. The test location will be checked at the start of the test. So when you are starting your test, you will have to rotate the camera throughout the room, show four walls. You cannot give it from a hall or an open passage used room. You need to have a closed four walls and a closed room that should be locked from inside. No other person should enter in the room while you are giving the test. Device including mobile phone, laptop, tablet, and other smart devices other than the device being used to take the test must be turned off. Any candidate using a device to record or photograph test material or communicate with a third party will have their test cancelled. So make sure that you are using the devices, you're not using any other device, and everything is switched off. Even the Bluetooth of any other device should be switched off. In order to take the test, candidates will need to provide proof of their identity. So you must keep your photo ID ready and you have to show it during the initial setup when you do it before the exam. Normally your driver license or your passport will do. This should be shown to the camera prior to the start of the test. So during the initial setup, you have to show your ID. More than that, one more thing is that if you are attaching the background device and you are using a laptop, you can use a headset here. So when you are using a headset, the headset should be wired only. It should not have any Bluetooth connection. So the device should be totally wired. The headset or earphone, whatever you are using, that should have wired connection. Do not use any Bluetooth device during your exam. Now, what is the test format? The test mainly contains of two dialogue. So there will be some recordings that will be played. There is nothing written on your screen. You will just hear some dialogue, some segments. So there will be two dialogue. Each dialogue will represent a conversation between a native English speaker and a native language other than English, Lotte speaker. For example, if you are taking Hindi as your other language, so there will be a conversation between English speaker and a Hindi speaker person. So there will be English and a Hindi conversation, and you have to translate them. If you are taking Punjabi as a Lotte language, your conversation will be one segment in English, next segment in Punjabi, again in English, like that. So there will be one dialogue like this, and then again one more. Total two dialogues will be there. Each dialogue will have approximately 300 words, with about half in English and half in Lotte. So the dialogues are divided then into segments of 35 or less words. There could be 12 to 18 segments in exam. So if you're getting 12 segments, so out of 12 segments, 6 could be in English and 6 segment could be in other Lotte language. So whatever language you are choosing, make sure that you will get alternate only. So make sure that you know the vocabulary to translate them perfectly. These dialogues will reflect true to life situations that could happen in Australian society and are designed to check whether whether they can do it or not, whether they can understand or whether the candidate can speak both the languages. Over 40 other foreign languages are also included in the list of recognized languages such as Arabic, French, German, Gujarati, Hindi, Punjabi, Tamil, and many more. So you can choose your language, whatever you are comfortable in, and you can give this exam in that language. How the exam will be there? So they will be marking on the basis of two criteria mainly. They use deductive marking to check your paper, and there is a human examiner who is checking your exam. Unlike PT is computer-based exam, but NAATI is a human examiner is there. So they will use deductive marking to check your exam. Two significant factors that contribute to the assessment are: first, language quality. That means you should be competent in both English and the Lotte language, any other language which you are choosing. And the language register, the level of formality with which you transfer your meaning. For are you talking in a robotic manner, or are you describing in idiomatic manner? So both the language level of formality are required, and you need to transfer the meaning perfectly. Error for which the examiners deduct a candidate score are: there could be 4 errors for which you could be marked incorrect, and hence you can score less. The first thing is inaccuracy. So if your correctness of information is there, then only you will get the mark. If you are giving inaccurate information, they will deduct a lot of marks. So for example, let's talk about inaccuracy. Let's say the speaker is saying, meet me tomorrow morning. And if you are translating, meet me tomorrow evening. So that is inaccuracy. You just change the morning time to evening time. So correctness of information is not there, and hence the marks will be deducted. If we are talking about distortion, what is distortion? So distortion means misrepresentation of information. So let's say we talk about distorting the sentence. For example, let's say a person is talking about a health scenario. If there is a question between a doctor and a patient, there is a conversation between them. Doctor is telling, take this medicine 2 times a day. And you are misrepresenting the information, like you are saying, take the medicine 3 times a day. So that is distortion. That is misrepresentation. Hence, you will be marked deductively. Deductive marking will take place. Similarly, omission. Omission means removal of information. Let's say if I talk about a conversation between a student and a teacher. So the teacher is telling that submit the assignment by Friday and bring your reports with that. So let's say you translated and you just translated submit your assignment by Friday. You omitted the next information, that will be considered as removal of information. Hence, deductive marking will take place. Similarly, last thing, insertion. Addition of information means the teacher is saying complete the assignment by next Friday, and the teacher is saying, bring your reports with that. And you added one more information to that, and you translated that the teacher is saying to bring report and IDs with yourself. So you added some extra information, which will again lead to deductive marking. So there are basically 4 things which needs to be checked during the translations. If any candidate is translating perfectly correct, if your answers are totally correct, but you do any 2 or 3 things together in one dialogue, it will be deductively marked and the examiner can declare the result as a fail. So not only translations are important, there are many other things in this exam which are important. So you need to check for these 4 things: inaccuracy, distortion, omissions, and insertions. Let's talk about how the exam will happen. So you will start the exam, you will do the initial setup. Once your laptop is checked, your microphone is ready, your camera is ready, you have shown your ID and your photo is taken, then you will be directed towards dialogue number 1. Once you are given dialogue number 1, there will be only these 4 buttons in front of you: record button, stop button, next button, and submit button. You won't see anything written on your screen. You have to press these buttons to start the test. So once you press record button, the audio will come. So press record, you will listen the segment. Like let's say for example, the question is, hi, how are you today? So when you press record, the question will play, hi, how are you today? So then you will have a beep after that. After the segment is played, there will be a beep and then you have to translate it. Let's say if you are translating in Hindi, so you will say Namaste, आज आप कैसे हैं? Once you have translated it, then you will have to press stop button. So you will press stop and then you will have to click next. Once you click next, again next question will come. You will press record. Next segment will be in Hindi. The question will be there, beep will be there. You will have to translate it in English and then you will have stop. So whatever English and Lotte language you are choosing, they will alternate with one another and you just need to press 3 buttons: record, stop, and next. Once you have done 10 to 12 segments like this, you will have to press submit after that. So press submit and your dialogue 1 will be submitted. Again, you will have to click dialogue 2. Again, same steps: record, stop, next, record, stop, next, and finally submit dialogue 2. When both the dialogues are submitted, you will have to click finish button and your exam will be over. Now, to help you with these things, NAATI is giving you some hint. So they give you some hint to prepare for this exam. We guide you related to the vocabulary. So you need to build your vocabulary. So vocabulary NAATI CCL exam plays a crucial role as students must learn vocabulary of English as well as the community language they are choosing. The word bank must include all the topics of NAATI CCL exam such as housing, insurance, education, and so on. You focus on the words which native speakers used in the conversation of daily lives. So you need to focus on the vocabulary, mainly the 12 topics given to you in the exam. Nothing other than that. But we cannot be an encyclopedia. So obviously you need to filter out what are the common conversation daily used words. And once you know those words, it will be very much easier for you to translate. What are the tools which are given to you by NAATI? NAATI gives you a very special tool. First is repeat. So you may repeat any segment before you begin interpretation. For example, let's say the person is talking about a phone number. Let me call me on this number tomorrow. So you have to write down that number. You are given paper. You are allowed to use A4 size paper. You can note down the number on that. But let's say you missed 1 or 2 number. You want to listen it again. So you can just press the repeat button. How to press the repeat button? Just without starting interpreting the segment, press the record button one more time. So if you press the record button one more time, it will show attempt 2 and your complete question will be repeated. In such instance, the whole segment will be repeated and the first repetition in each dialogue may be requested without penalty. However, any further request for repetitions may be penalized by the examiner. So make sure you do not take a lot of repeat. Just use this repeat tool mainly for writing down phone number or address or something, which is the important task of the complete dialogue. In one dialogue, there will be 12 to 18 segments. So out of 12 to 18 segment, any one segment can be repeated for free. It is not per every segment. The free repetition is only one time in complete one dialogue. So if there are two dialogues in your exam, you can take one free repeat per dialogue, not more than that. If you are taking more repeats, then you will be penalized for that by the examiner. But thankfully, we have another tool, that is the correction tool. Correction is very simple to use. If you realize during the test that you have made an error, you are permitted to insert a correction of that part before continuing. Any correction should be prefaced by some suitable phrase. You can just say, sorry, I will just say that part again. You can just say correction. You can say sorry and correct yourself. There is no button to use correction tool. You can simply say sorry or correction and correct yourself. Lengthy pauses and repeated reworking or self-checking of segments will be viewed as distracting significantly from the dynamics of the test task. What I mean to say here is that if you are using a lot of repeat and lots of correction, the examiner will think that you are not efficient enough. And even though the translations are perfect, but because you have done repeated reworking or self-checking of the segments again and again, you might be awarded fail. So refrain from using a lot of corrections and lot of repeat, and do not break the fluency also. Main thing is that do not use more than 4 or 5 correction in one complete dialogue, and do not use more than 2 repeats in one dialogue. So a total of 2 repeat and 4 correction, a total of 6 can be done in one dialogue, not more than that. Maximum you can touch 6, that's it. Next thing, what you can do to ace this task, what you can do to get good marks in this exam. Very simple tip and trick is there, that first you can do note making. It is essential to learn this technique because in this exam the segments are sometimes quite long and it is not possible for everyone to remember 4 to 5 sentences. Note taking helps in collection of information through keywords and shortcuts. Test takers should make their own mnemonics to remember certain phrases or sentence. For example, if you are saying how are you, it can be written as HRU, or today can be just written as 2D. So just compress the notes, write in your language. You can use the chatting language in which you usually chat through the normal social networks. You can use those words and make short notes out of it. Yes, note making is very crucial, especially if you are given some number or address, write it down, name of a person, write it down. So when you translate, you don't really distract from that. But it is quite impossible to write down the complete sentence, especially if the speed is slow. So what you can do, you can take a help of another technique, that is visualization. So it is not possible to write down all the word in notes. So here comes the role of memory. The students need to sharpen their memory by remembering most of the word of segments. It becomes a habit with practice. It is suggested to students that they should write only keywords and visualize rest of the sentence. So mainly you have to make sure that you are visualizing the most of the part of the sentence, because when you visualize, when you objectify it, it becomes much more easier to remember it. The more you remember it in memory, the more easy it could be recalled again. So two techniques combined together can help you to clear this exam very easily. First, as you listen, visualize it. Let's say talk about a shopping list. Let's say the dialogue is between a person who is making a shopping list and they are going to the market. So two neighbors are talking and they are trying to make a shopping list. So when they are making a shopping list, let's say they talk about so many fruits. Let's say they are talking about some name of the fruits such as orange or apple. Visualize them, or you can write the initial of the letters O, A, like that. So when you repeat it, when you translate it, you can recall by just checking the first word. Or if you visualize, in sequence. See the orange on your floor, see the apple in the bucket or basket, like that. See in the kitchen, see the grapes are on the kitchen floor. So if you see it, visualize it, it will be much more easier for you to translate. Okay, apart from note making and visualization, the main thing which can help you is to speak consistently. If you are translating with a constant speed, like it will give you a very high score. Avoid speaking too fast or too slow. Avoid any unnecessary pause. If you are just fumbling a lot, if you are talking like this, if you are breaking the fluency, you might get a fail. So make sure here, more than translation, the consistent speech is required. So don't break in between, don't take any unnecessary pause or be disfluent. It might give a total fail if we do so. So refrain yourself from speaking inconsistently. What are the test marking criteria? Very simple. The test comprises of 2 dialogues. Each dialogue carries 45 marks. In order to pass this test, a candidate requires at least 29 marks in each dialogue. So 29 in dialogue 1 and minimum of 29 in dialogue 2. But when you total it, it will be 58. But to pass, the overall score of 63 out of 90 is required. So total exam is of 90. You need at least 63 to pass this exam. Anything more than 63, 64, 65, 66, 70, it will just give you 5 points. So anything more than 63 is a pass. But make sure, apart from 63, there is one more criteria. Dialogue 1 minimum 29 mark, dialogue 2 minimum 29 mark. If a candidate is getting 70 but less than 29 in one of the dialogue, they will be declared fail. For example, if you are getting 23 out of 45 in dialogue 1 and 41 out of 45 in dialogue 2, so the overall score is 64 out of 90, but the result is a clear fail as the candidate hasn't achieved required score in dialogue 1, which is 29. So 29 in both dialogue and a total of more than 63 is the criteria to pass this exam. Now you can see this type of segments could be there in your exam. You can see that this is a dialogue between a dentist Sarah and a Hindi speaking man Sachin, who have so basically you can get Hindi, you can get Urdu, Punjabi, any whatever Lotte segment you are taking. This is just an example. So the dialogue will be, the segment will not be in front of you. They are not written anywhere. You will have to just translate one segment in English and second segment in Hindi. Let's say first the segment, as you can see here, it is of it. The segments will always be of lesser words. So segment number 1 is of 20 words only. So Louis is talking to the Hindi speaker Sachin, and Louis is saying, "Good morning, Sachin. I'm dentist Louis. Please have a seat. So can you please tell me the problem you are facing?" So such type of questions will be there. What you have to do? You have to translate it in your required language. If you are taking Punjabi, you have to translate this sentence in Punjabi. If you are taking Urdu, translate it in Urdu, Gujarati, Tamil, Hindi, whatever is your lotte, translate this segment. How will you translate? You will press the record button, you will press the stop button, and you will press the, before pressing stop, you will have to translate. So main basic language, press record, you will hear this sentence spoken by the English speaker, then you will have a beep, you will have to translate it, and then you will have to press the stop button. So once you press the stop button, you can move to the next segment. If you have moved to the next segment will be spoken by Sachin. So the next Lotte language, whatever you have chosen, will be there, and you have to again wait for the beep. Once the beep is there, then start translating. Some might ask how many seconds we can take after the beep. Very simple. You cannot take more than 10 seconds long. Try to give the answer within 10 seconds of the audio after the beep. So once that is done, it will be very much easier for you to get the answer, right? So that is what you have to do. Listen to the audio, wait for the beep, and then you can make notes along with the listening, and then once the beep is there, Once that beep is there, then only start the answer. Do not overlap your answer with the beep, and do not wait for that beep to end after 10 seconds. Obviously, the mic will not go off, but examiner will not check a lot of segments after 10 seconds. So avoid a lot of gap after the beep. So main target is to wait for the beep. Next, when you have finished 12 to 18 segments, you will end the exam and finish the exam. But there is a troubleshoot option during the exam. So if you will see that there are 12 segments are over, then the end of dialogue will take place, then dialogue 2 will be there. But as this is a technical exam, so you might face some difficulty during this exam. So when you are checking this exam, the main problem could be that the laptop is not getting, the questions are not downloading on the laptop, or the Wi-Fi is not working, or the back camera is disconnected. What can be done at that moment? So there is a chat bot available to you during that exam. So the NAATI people are there. They will guide you if you have any such sort of difficulty. However, do not call anyone during the exam in the room. Do not talk to any other person. If you face any difficulty, just write on that chat bot that I'm not able to listen to the question, and they will tell you the suggested whatever steps are to be taken. They will guide you accordingly. Sometimes you will see the QR code popped on your screen again and again. That's okay if your mobile is getting disconnected and you need to show that mobile again the QR code. You need to download Proctor app in your mobile, and once that app is there, show the QR code to the app. And once the QR code is shown, the mobile will get again connected. But don't stand up from your seat without informing them. So you have to write on the chat board that I'm getting the QR code, I need to connect my mobile. They will tell you, yes, you can go stand up from the seat and connect the mobile. Another things which you can see is you cannot leave the room. So just keep water with you whenever you are giving exams. So if you face any throat trouble or anything, you can drink water and continue again. It's in your hand to press the button. So the question will come only when you press the record button. So make sure that you are going it in a flow. You can take a gap between the next question, and that is how you can attempt these questions very easily. So basically, there are main things to sum up. What I can just tell you is that in NAATI exam, the main thing is to pass this exam with a criteria of 63 out of 90. Just you have to give this exam from the comfort of your home. So open laptop, and once you book for the exam, you will get the email of your test date. And once that date is there, 7 days before that date, they will send you another email mentioning the time slot of that exam. In within that time interval, you have to do one initial setup on your computer. So there will be two setups done. Setup number one, 7 days before your exam, you will take that laptop and mobile connected, show them that your screen share is working, show them that your mobile microphone and camera are working. Once that is done, you will get one more email from NAATI exactly mentioning the link to join the exam on that particular date. For example, let's say you have your exam on 20th of February. So you will get an email 7 days before of that exact link, and you can join that link on 20th of February. They will give you a 3 hour or 6 hour window. You have to give your exam in that window. Exam will be just of 35 minutes, but keep 10 to 15 minutes before that to clear the initial setup again. During the initial setup, you will be required to show them the room. So keep your room neat and tidy, keep your table neat and clean, below the table neat and clean. You will have to show below the table roof, four walls, keep your windows covered. They should not get any hint of that you are trying to cheat. Nothing such material should be there. You will have to show your A4 size paper in front of the camera. During the exam, you will have to show your ID, your photo will be taken during that exam. And once everything is done, your microphone and headset is ready to go. Wi-Fi speed will be checked. If your Wi-Fi speed measures the required amount, then you will be able to allow the give the test. So once you click next, and you will start your test, and once the test starts, there will be two dialogue, clear them with 29 minimum and an overall of 63 with proper fluency. Make sure your fluency is the key to clear here, and make use of repeat and correction tool properly, and you can get good scores. You can pass this exam by avoiding deductive marking, and once the deductive marking is not there, then they will give you clear pass. The exam will be assessed by two examiners. So once your recording has been done, it will be sent to the examiner. Two separate examiners will mark you with the separate criteria. If both of them give you pass, you will be declared as a pass result. If both of them give you a fail, you will be declared fail. But what if one examiner gives you a pass and second one gives you a fail? Very simple. They will call in the third examiner, and the third examiner will check it again for any other pass or fail criteria. So 2 out of 3 will give you the pass or fail result. So it is very simple to pass this exam. It will benefit you in your PR application. You can be higher in slot if a person is standing at 85 point in their PR point system, so they can go to 90 very simply by giving this exam. However, the slots are very limited for this exam. So once you book for the exam, you can then again check for the free slots available. So let's say right now, if you're getting a date of June, so book for that, book for June exam, and then keep checking every day. And once you keep check, once the slot is available, you can even get a preponed date. So you can give your exam in March or February also. So right now, book the exam if you are ready for that 5 point. Prepare for that through our app, and you can use mobile app from CCL tutorials. You can use our website to prepare. We have a Telegram group available for you. You can talk to the experts in the Telegram group. You can post your questions and audios there. You can ask us for vocabulary, check with us, and we do provide different types of mock test for you. So there are many different things available for you in that. You can save big on CCL online group coaching also. We have a limited time offer. We provide online coaching, and that is very simple and easy to enroll. You can take help from our experts, coordinators, and book for the online coaching if you are looking forward for this exam. You can use platforms like Telegram, YouTube videos are available, Facebook is there. You can check for regular updates and reviews from students, testimonials are there. So join us and you can take our help to pass this exam. You will be given a lot of help by the experts. There are different language experts available to you in this, and they are always available. Just tag them and ask the questions, ask for vocabulary, drop your dialogues, check for deductive marking, and clear the exam from the comfort of your home. That was all for today's session. Thank you everyone for joining. I will now take your questions if you have any for me.
So that was a great session, Rinni. It was very informative, especially because I'm probably gonna take the test as well in a couple of months. So for me, this was a very important session for today.
Great.
Yeah. So as of now, we don't really have any questions, but I do have some as well, just to get that out of the way. One of the first one was, how early do you think someone should ideally start preparing before they give the test? Say for someone who has who's got a good command of English, but also has a very basic grasp of another language. So how early do you think they should just start preparing?
Okay, that was a really nice question. Yes, the preparation time matters from person to person, obviously, because whatever grip they have. But for a layman, like for a basic knowledge person, I would say they might require 1 month to prepare for this exam, because the scenarios are distinct. There are 12 scenarios, so maybe first 12 days they will get through the vocabulary and the PDFs available in our coaching also, and they can also find the material on our Telegram group file section and all, and they can go through and read those sections. But the more important thing is to use the applied part. So if there is some thing when they are translating, that is when we get to know what is the mistake there. So they first have to read and go through all these topics in 12 days, one topic each day, And after that, the next coming 12 days, they will have to practice the audio. So once the practice of audio is done, then they are ready for all the things. Then they can give mock tests from CCL tutorials and check if they are ready for the test or not. But I think as the slot are not available right now, they can book right now and then start preparing. So once the slot exam date is nearby, they will all be ready to go. But minimum 25 to 1 month is required. But yes, for an efficient speaker, those who have basic knowledge, I have seen people giving exam in 10 days also. So I have given mentored several students for 10 days and they have cleared the exam now.
Yeah, yeah, 10 days sounds very impressive. That I'm definitely not taking a chance. I'll definitely do it at least a month or so. Also, another question. This might come sound very negative, but it's also something that I've thought about. What happens if you do fail the test once? When can you give the test again? Is there some sort of a period that you're not able to apply for, or can you just give it in the next available date?
Yes, you can it in the next available date. There is no such thing. It's just that you have to wait for the result of the first exam. Once that result is out, and if they give fail, anyone can book for the next exam and they can give it for the next available slot.
All right, perfect. Okay, that makes me feel a lot more calmer as well. All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for that, Rinni. I think what we will do is just for all the further questions that might come to you, I'll just post a link of our Telegram group for the CCL tutorial, so they can just go ahead, post their questions there, and then of course you and our other experts can help them by answering that. So yeah, thank you so much again, Rinni, and thank you so much for everyone who joined us today. So I'll let you know that please don't forget to leave a review for the session that you have attended today. I'll go ahead and leave a link for that as well. And you can go ahead and leave us your feedback, and it's very much appreciated. So after that as well, I'll just leave the next few sessions that will be following right after this, and you can go ahead check them out. It's again, like I said, it's our student support day, so most of the sessions that will follow after this is also kind of targeted towards providing student support services. So yeah, that would be all. Thank you so much again, Rinni. Appreciate you joining us today, and thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you for such an insight. And thank you, everyone, for joining for today's session. If you have any further doubt, you can always talk to me. You can message us, and please do leave your review for the session. Thank you, and bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.